the NFL this past weekend is obviously the NFC East. Eagles and Cowboys are now tied for first in the division. The Cowboys actually have an opportunity to win the division next week if they beat Washington in Week 18. And the Eagles have squandered away their opportunity to win the division, and now they no longer control their own destiny. Listen, 2 weeks ago, they lost the opportunity to have home field advantage in the NFC when they lost last weekend. And now, this weekend, they have no longer control their own destiny in terms of winning the division because they lost to the Arizona Cardinals 35-31 at home, a game that many expected the Philadelphia Eagles to win handsomely at that. However, that was not the case, and now they have allowed the Cowboys an opportunity to win the division and steal a home game and take a home game in the playoffs. And if you remember, guys, we talked about it on our Instagram live show on Thursday. We talked about how Dre and I, how the Eagles needed this game against Arizona to get themselves back into a rhythm. They needed to win this game convincingly by at least 2 possessions to show the rest of the football world that they have started to turn a corner. They have started to right the ship, and they're offensively getting back to where they were last year. And no one, at least on the show, neither Dre or I, questioned Philadelphia's chances of winning the game, but really it's just by how much. But it turns out that we were both wrong. And this game only put a microscope to all of the issues and all of the deficiencies that have plagued Philadelphia, not just the past 6 weeks, but quite frankly, all season. Listen, Kyler Murray for Arizona threw for 232 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. James Conner rushed for 128 yards on 26 carries and had a touchdown. And the running game or the Philadelphia's rush defense has been an issue all season. To go along with their passing attack. Listen, defensively, Philadelphia has been inconsistent all year, both in the secondary as well as in the front seven. And this is those issues were just expedited today. And I'm no longer talking about the offensive woes that Philadelphia has, because clearly they can score. They put up 31 points. Jalen Hurts went 18-23, 167 yards, 3 touchdowns, interception. DeAndre Swift had 13 carries for 61 yards, and Dallas Goedert had 5 receptions, 47 yards for a touchdown. Julio Jones had 2 receptions, 34 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Offensively, I'm no longer talking about the issues that Philadelphia has, because obviously they can score. The defense is the issue, and it has been the issue for the past 6 weeks. Listen, Philadelphia has lost 4 of the last 5 games. All 4 of their losses have come when they allow teams to score over 25 points. This is not akin to what Philadelphia did last year and what made them successful last year, which was their defense. And what happens now is, because Philadelphia cannot control the time of possession offensively by running the ball efficiently, that forces the defense to be out there longer, which forces the defense to tire out quicker, which forces the defense to allow bigger plays. And that's what happened this past weekend against Arizona. And there's a difference between having these struggles and concerns and mishaps in Week 7 and Week 8 of the season, as opposed to Week 17 and Week 18. Which they did have these issues. Philadelphia had these issues in Week 7 and Week 8. I was more likely, and I was more willing to brush aside the deficiencies and say that they're going to figure things out. However, going into Week 17 and Week 18, they still have the same issues and they still haven't been fixed. I'm not as willing to brush things aside and say that they'll be able to figure things out. And I no longer think that the Eagles are legitimate contenders in the NFC. I will say they're pretenders. They're more pretenders than contenders at this point in time, because at the point in the season in which they're having the same struggles, the same things that have plagued the Eagles all season are still plaguing them now, and things have not been fixed. And watching Philadelphia all season, you could tell there's something missing. There's something not right. There's something that that spark that was with them, that's with the team last year, is not with the team this year. And it could be fatigue, could be injuries. You can call it whatever you want, but that same focus and drive is not there with Philadelphia this season. And it just shows how hard it is to win in the NFL consistently. That's why when you get to the Super Bowl, you have to take advantage and win, because you just don't know when you're ever going to get back there. And it's so hard to get back there. Listen, the NFL is the hardest league in team sports to win in. And this is a prime example. Listen, everyone thought that Philadelphia was going to be a talented team coming into the next season and that they would steamroll the NFC. And that's not the case, clearly. And listen, I'm not saying that Philadelphia is going to lose in the first round of the playoffs, but compared to the standard that we have set for them coming into the preseason, they haven't fit those standards, and now they no longer can be considered legitimate contenders in the NFC. And that's just based on what we've seen so far. And the same reason that I don't believe the Cowboys are legitimate contenders, because of the issues they're having this late in the season, I have to be objective and say, well, the Eagles, those same reasons are why the Eagles can't be considered legitimate contenders. Both teams have issues against the run. Both teams can be inconsistent in their running attack, and both teams can give up big plays in the secondary, and both teams have issues that have plagued them throughout the season that haven't been fixed yet. So I don't think either of those teams have a legitimate chance of making the Super Bowl. And it's unfortunate because these, both these teams are in NFC East, and both these teams were teams that people thought that would be able to, make a deep playoff run. But I don't think that's the case, especially with the way things are shaping up now. And we'll give a prediction for who we think is going to win the NFC East later on in the week. But for right now, I would say both the Eagles and Cowboys are pretenders. Neither of them are contenders at this point. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Do you think the Eagles or the Cowboys are legitimate contenders or pretenders? Who do you think is going to win the NFC East between the Eagles and Cowboys? Share your thoughts in the comment section, guys. I'm looking forward to hearing all about it. And in our next segment, guys, we're going to be discussing the Chiefs, Kansas City Chiefs. How deep of a playoff run can they make? And have they turned a corner with their recent victory over the Cincinnati Bengals? So be sure to stick around for that, guys. You are not going to miss it. We will be right back.